What up? Suck Fail here, back with another episode of our solo playthrough of Valheim. Last episode, I noticed that my vocals were a little low compared to some of the game effects. Sometimes I was getting drowned out, say with the boars squealing, while I happened to be talking at the same time. I noticed it was a little difficult to hear me, so I made some audio tweaks in hopes to clear that up a little bit. But being new to this, uh, it's all a learning experience. I failed to test my audio and everything before I started recording this episode. After recording, I think it was about 2 hours of gameplay. Obviously, that'll be getting trimmed way, way down. Uh, but I went to start editing it, and my voice is all chopped to hell. I guess my headset had come unplugged slightly, so it had a finicky connection. Uh, so yeah, normally I like to do my commentary while I'm playing the game, but I guess I'm just gonna have to do post-game commentary. I will do my best, and we'll see how this turns out. Also, I unfortunately had to strip all of the previous audio since it was all merged into one file. So that means we also lost the sound effects from the game as well. So I do apologize for that. But I believe in the last episode we had gotten our starter hut set up, did a little bit of gathering, did a little bit of cooking, um, tried to spot out an area for a dock, which we did not build. We will build a dock. It might not be in that area, but we're definitely probably going to have a few. I do like building the docks. But we did get ourselves prepared and take down Eikthyr, the first boss of Valheim. We took care of him pretty well. Did take a little bit of time, but we were good on our defenses. He didn't hit us too many times. Made sure to health up and stamina up with our foods beforehand, and so now we have Eikthyr blessing. So whenever we use that, we can reduce the stamina drain from running and jumping, which is fantastic. And today we are going to be exploring the Black Forest. Inside the Black Forest, we're looking for burial chambers, inside of which will be skeletons that we can kill to get the bone fragments, which we'll need to upgrade some of our gear. There are also sometimes Surtling cores in there, which are required for making the forge, or not the forge, the smelter, as well as the charcoal kiln. Um, Unfortunately, you need 5, I think, for each of those to be made. And aside from that, we're looking for trolls because we need to kill them and get their troll hide so we can make some armor finally and stop running around like a pantsless fool. Because I just don't feel like using the other leather on that. It's too needed for making the upgrade pieces for the workbench, for shields and other things. I don't normally use it. Usually the first armor I go for is the troll leather. It is pretty nice. Aside from that, we would like to find some metal. Some metal would be nice to find now that we've got the hard antlers from the Eikthyr boss. We've made 2 of the hard antler pickaxes. So if we find anything, we can go ahead and grab that up. It is pretty heavy though, so we'll have to decide whether it's good to take it then or not. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to where we first get into the Black Forest. Right here, I did find a chest with some coins, among other things. So we've got some more coins whenever we find that trader. And not too much farther than that house, we did enter the Black Forest. It's not a very big forest, but it's not too far away. If you take a look at the map, we're not too far, from where we left. But as I said, this is a very small Black Forest biome. It's kind of randomized on where the biomes are and how big they are and everything. This one happens to be pretty small. So I did have to keep searching for another one. But before I could find my next area of Black Forest, I did have some company to deal with. At first, it looks like it's just the one gray dwarf, but if you'll notice off in the hills, or off at the wood line, we've got some more gray dwarfs coming in. You'll see that blue one's got 2 stars. If you've noticed in the last episode, some of the deer had maybe 1 star or no stars. That's basically their difficulty rating. Um, no stars, obviously being the weakest of the group. 1 stars being more powerful than that, and so far I believe 2 star is the highest that it goes. As far as I've seen, pretty much anything can come with that star rating. Any kind of enemy you can fight, the necks, the boars, the deer, the gray dwarves, the trolls, skeletons. Like I said, pretty much all of it. You can see I got to be careful here. Down to 9 health. At this point, I turned back so I could get a little bit of food in me. Fighting on an empty stomach is never the best idea in Valheim. Uh, you need that extra stamina and those extra hit points. Granted, your health regeneration isn't too fast if you're outside roaming around. If you're in your house rested, um, it increases your passive regeneration quite a bit, so you can heal it pretty fast in your house. But outside in the world of dangers, it is a different story. You can see here I'm just cleaning up the last little bit here, and down he goes. And as fortune would have it, we had come across a building filled with skeletons. Yay, bone fragments! After quickly dispatching of the skeletons, just a few steps away down by the shore, I was able to find a couple tin nodes. Now, while I don't normally mark tin down because it's a lot more abundant than copper per se, I did go ahead and take the opportunity to pull out my map. If you pick one of the symbols on the bottom right of your map, choose a spot, double click on it, then some text will open up at the bottom. You can name your point, and then that will be marked on your map for future use. And just a little moseying up the shore farther, I came across our first burial chamber. Usually on the outside of the burial chambers, there will be skeletons to fight. Unfortunately, I did not notice that my club was about broken. So it did get broken in the fight. Fortunately, I was able to pull out my axe to finish the job. But that still left the problem of having a broken club. Fortunately, we already had the wood in our inventory to craft a new club, so we didn't need to go out and gather any, and we could immediately enter the burial chamber. Unfortunately, once inside the chambers, aside from the few skeletons and some glowing mushrooms, we were only able to find one Surtling core, which isn't the greatest, but hey, I guess one's better than nothing, right? And immediately upon exiting the burial chambers, I was swarmed by gray dwarves. I was able to take out a shaman before this little scuffle, but as you can see, I was not quite up to the task of defending myself, so mark down a death. So we will head back out from our hut, use Eikthyre's blessing so we can get some more run out of that stamina bar, and collect all of our belongings. Continuing our search for more Black Forest biome, I did find another beehive, but again, no queen bee. I don't know what's going on with these things. They're just not one to give it up for me today. After a bit more wandering, I did find some more Black Forest biome, but I thought it would be smarter to go ahead and build another little shack with a bed in it so we would have a closer respawn point should we die again. As if I was foretelling the future, no sooner do I finish putting the hut together does the forest begin to move, which means you get raided. And as you can see, I have a large number of enemies that have just spawned and are trying to raid our new little base. Uh, Unfortunately, Suckfail does not make it out of this alive. My sacrifice would not be for nothing, as I was able to keep them occupied long enough so that when they did eventually kill me and I emerged from the shack, the raid was over and they were gone, leaving me to collect my belongings and push off into the Black Forest. Once inside the Black Forest, I'd come across a troll cave as well as this Grey Dwarf nest. I figured I'd take care of the Grey Dwarf nest first because it spawns Grey Dwarfs in until it's destroyed. So I take care of that and then go investigate the troll cave. Now, if I'm being completely honest, the way that I take care of trolls inside of the troll caves might not necessarily seem too fair. But in my defense, I would be more than willing to continue fighting him if he left his cave. But since they do not like to leave their caves, and I'm not going to stay in there and get hit by him, I'm just going to keep popping in, shoot him once or twice with an arrow, and leave. Give him a little time to reset, pop back in, and wash, rinse, and repeat until he's down. After dispatching the troll in the most cowardice of manners, I decided to head back north to investigate a small chain of islands I had seen just off the coast, where I happened across yet another troll. And to my surprise, it happened to be a 1-star troll. So we are about to get a nice little chunk of troll hide. Now, this guy does take me a little bit longer to take out because he is a 1-star, but I didn't exactly have to keep popping in and out of a cave. He was out here in the open, free to chase me around. Uh, they look like they move slow, but because they're so big, they actually do move pretty quick. And I do have to run a little bit, not just walk away and shoot him. He did seem to have some difficulty getting to me from where I was at on top of the hill. It was almost like he kept forgetting I was there or didn't know which way he wanted to come to get me. But I don't know if you notice, my bow is starting to get pretty low on durability, and at one point it actually does break. So I scramble around a little bit and end up running away so I can hide from him. And then I swim over to one of the other islands, make me a little workbench so I can repair my bow, and then head back over to finish him off. Now, don't even think for a second I forgot about that troll cave over there just because we had some extra difficulties with this one. And I'm sure you remember the last one and are pretty certain on how this one's going to go too. After doubling down on my cowardice and taking down our third troll of the day, I decided it was time to pack up and head back home. But the gods of Valheim saw fit to bestow upon me the gift of yet another troll. And after putting the last nail in our fourth and final troll coffin of the day, we can finally head back home to construct our troll hide armor, which we fought so hard to obtain, and bring our second episode to a close. If you did happen to enjoy the video, in the way you find most appropriate, make contact with those like and subscribe buttons. Again, the comment section down below if there's anything you would like to let me know. And I will see you guys next time.